Hello ladies, my name is Janet Machuka. I'm a digital marketing consultant, a strategist, and also trainer. And I'm here to wish you a happy International Women's Day. But before, I would like to share with you some couple of things on how you can be able to build yourself as this professional personality on the digital platforms as a woman in business, and as a woman who is looking into growing in the career they are working on, or also in the profession they're in. So when you talk about social media, I feel like this space has really helped so many of us venture into things that we really never planned to at first, but at the same time it has given us an opportunity to understand better how to carry ourselves around, how to build businesses, and how to ultimately connect with people across the world, not even thinking about, oh, I need to know my cousin only, I need to know my mother only. But this is a global landscape that is giving you an opportunity to scale, to grow, to connect, and ultimately to gain something out of it. It can be you selling your products to make money, or directly making money out of the services that you provide. So someone will ask me, why should I use social media for the right reason, especially when it comes to your personal branding? I feel like right now, technology has really given us a chance to think wide, open our eyes, and not just think locally, but think globally. And that means you have to look at your profession, whatever you do, from a world perspective. It's not just about you and the people you meet offline, but the people you also connect, impact, educate, inform, and ultimately gain from. Because at the end of the day, we are looking at how can we tap into the value others have, and how can we give more value from our presence on social media. We have TikTok, we have Facebook. I know most of you are on Facebook and TikTok. We have platforms like Twitter, currently we call it X. We have LinkedIn, we have Instagram. We have actually other micro social media platforms. They might not really be that huge, but they still play an important role when it comes to your personal branding. Someone will say, oh, if you want to build your professional brand, just go to LinkedIn. But that's not the case. We have seen people on Facebook build themselves professionally on that platform. The same as Instagram, the same as LinkedIn, the same as Twitter, which now we call X. By the way, Twitter grew me. And I will say this over and over again. Sometimes it doesn't have to be what you know about a platform from how many people say it or talk about it, but you have to actually understand the value of it if you give yourself a chance to learn, if you give yourself a chance to do your own research. When I first joined social media, I joined Facebook. And then from there, I joined Instagram, and then later LinkedIn, because everyone was saying, oh, if you need to connect with your next employee, go to LinkedIn. And then by then I was a student, so it was really working for me. But I can tell you for sure, a shock on me, it was not easy to get a job through LinkedIn. But again, I noticed that social media, on how it's about how you use it. It's not about how you grow the numbers, it's about how you use it. So you can have very few numbers, but you use it very well to a point that it's really helping you, and it's also helping your business. Even Twitter, when I first joined Twitter, the only thing I usually knew about it was just the trends. And the trends, most of the times, they used to be funny moments, others are trolling each other, we are talking about politics or the news that are happening in our country. And then I narrowed it down to something now I loved a lot, and that is something that has really built me, called a community. I know social media itself is a huge community. Like Facebook is a great and big community, LinkedIn is a big community, Instagram is a great community, TikTok, and all the other platforms. But have you ever thought about those groups we usually have aside? Especially the groups that we join and we create that help us learn specific things that we are interested in, or we engage in conversations that really interest us, that grow us, that inform us, and that give us an opportunity to also share what we know as people. You know, I think at the end of the day, if you are part of a community, even if it's WhatsApp, it should not be about you just consuming all the time. You also need to contribute some time. You also need to share something, and that is why we call social media social. When I talk about social, it's where even if you're in a group of community members in your village, at least you expect everyone to contribute something. And if you want to really scale on digital, especially social media platforms, you need to think as somebody who is there to give and to take. And in this, I mean, you need to have a conversation with people, and you also need to be part of conversations with people. That is why we usually say social media is not just about communicating to another person, it's about conversing. Can we converse? Can we see if there is something I can learn from person A, person B, and can they learn something from me? Okay? And speaking of social media, you know, when we talk about you thinking about your children, thinking about we as now grown-ups, I know most of the time we see the rules and regulations are only people with a certain age can be able to join. But right now we have seen social media regulations change. Also, other social media platforms are allowing children to be part of the social media platforms. For example, YouTube. By the way, YouTube is also a social media platform. And we have seen parents monitoring what their kids are doing. But there are so many apps that you can use in order to monitor your child and see what they're doing. And if you have a phone, by the way, go to your settings, the settings of your phone. There's a section where they have added digital parenting, where you can be able to monitor what your child is doing on the phone. But I don't know if you guys know that. So this really helps parents be able to track everything the kids are doing on the internet, especially social media platforms. And also there are also so many applications actually parents can download. Some of us can download. If you feel like our children who are maybe 15 years old and they're in campus, they have a phone. Sometimes it's very hard to actually monitor what they're doing, and sometimes you really want to help them grow in a professional way in the digital platform. But again, I usually say this: if we are good examples, they can also be good at using the social media the best way. I'll say social media is not just for young people. It's not for the 24-year-olds to the 35-year-olds. Social media is for everyone who actually has attained an age where the regulations of the different platforms allow. Okay? And when you talk about women who are 45 years and above, and I think this is a prime age for most of the women who are maybe in business or who are tapping into the aspect of, I need to leave the corporate world. Now I think I need to have a business aside. The reason why social media is very important for you, I feel like this is an age where you have really experienced a lot. You have learned a lot, if it has to be in your HR profession, or if it has to be in your communication profession, or even if it has to be you have been running a specific company as a CEO for 5 years, 10 years. This is the time for you to actually impact, empower young girls, or they don't have actually to be just girls, young girls and boys, so that they can be able to see the kind of progress, learn from your mistakes, learn from your experiences, and tap into the knowledge that you have. So social media is a great space for you to share all this. And I think most of the time when I'm having conversations on LinkedIn, when I'm having conversations on Twitter, you'll find that I'm having people who are even 45 years, even 50 years old, or 50 years old. They are in that conversation. They are sharing some of the knowledge that we missed out. Some of us who are maybe born in the 90s. They're sharing some of the information way back even to the 80s, and you're like, wow, that actually happened. And right now, as you have noticed, so many people don't like reading history. And that gives you a very good chance to be in a position to also share bits of things that most of us don't know. And something else, talking about women who are about 40 years old using social media, I feel like you starting a business at that stage, even if it has to be 45 years old, social media gives you a chance to also understand how the young people are consuming your products, your services, and also not just consuming, also understanding the trends on how you can better position your business. Because I feel like nowadays most of our conversations, be it business conversations, are affected by technology, and most of our business decisions that we are making are actually linked to how can tech help us do more within a less time or within less hours. So that means for you to avoid digital at this age, even if you might think you're a Methuselah, it's really hard. And that is why sometimes when you're working with younger teams, we might have some brushes where you feel like they don't understand you and you don't understand them because you have not really taken your time to at least understand how social media works and how the digital age works. So that is why I usually tell people this. Even if you don't have time to do your research from time to time, at least look for a podcast, look for a YouTube channel that gives you an opportunity to learn something from time to time, so that at least once in a while you pick some insights about how to use your social media to the best. Even WhatsApp groups, yes, they are very good in that. I see Nancy Omweri, Nana, has really created a good community for young women, women in business. And I think this is a great way to also impact each other, because I know most of us are struggling in different ways. Be it we're trying to start a business on Instagram and then we are really worried. People told us we should just build the numbers and we start getting the clients. But social media doesn't work like that. Sometimes you notice that you might really have so many likes, so many comments on something, but nobody buys. That's what leaves us to what can we constantly learn and put our efforts into, so that we can understand how to better position our products, position ourselves as business owners who are thinking about branding themselves to represent their businesses better. One trick I've noticed about social media is that you can have a business, but if people don't know who is behind the business, especially if it's a service related business, sometimes you might miss out of some new customers or clients to work with. Why? Because before we know your company or your business name, people will be like, do you know somebody who can be able to do a moderation for this event? Do you know a speaker who can talk about funding for startups? Do you know somebody who can do digital marketing? Do you know someone who can help us do PR for our business? Most of the time we don't think about the businesses, we first think about people. And that is why I believe that as much as you're building your business and as much as you are also part of a profession or a career that is helping you, yes, build other businesses and grow yourself, always think about your personal brand. How are you impacting someone else? How are you making people know that you are the person to go to? One of the things I will say on social media, please, if you're not into lifestyle, don't overshare some things that are into lifestyle. If you're not into agriculture, or always like don't share any most about agriculture. Just understand what you're really interested in at first. What you're interested in is what you really want to be known for, and what you really want to grow through, and let people know that you are the person for A, B, C. For example, I try my best to grow myself on the digital platform as a digital marketer, a trainer, and a strategist. And the reason why I do this is because I believe this is a business that I will be running for the longest. And so it means I still have to show up and tell people and show people that I actually live my profession and whatever that I am doing. So find a niche that can actually help you grow and can help you actually scale. So now when we're talking about the do's and don'ts on social media, I feel like most of us always peg it when it comes to content itself. And I think that is what it should be. Like the content you share, you really need to know if this content is gonna help somebody or if this content is gonna destroy me. So first things first, when you're building yourself as a professional person, think through. I think in the past it was very hard for people to start building their personal brands, but right now it's very easy because you already have experts who really know how to use the platforms. They can guide you, they can give you the tips, give you the strategies, and we have a lot of information in the internet that we can actually learn from. So for the do's, kindly take your time to learn, do your research before you post something. Take your time, check if it's a news, make sure that the facts are right. Okay, if it's a conversation you are having with somebody, or if you want to jump into a conversation that is part of social media, especially those people who are into humanitarian conversations, please take your time first, step back, search for the right facts, put them down, so that by the time you share your opinion, you are not going to actually cause more harm to your personal brand than actually protect it or build it. But at the end of the day, I know opinions on social media when it comes to social matters are really the way we treat them, we usually use a lot of emotions, and that is why I usually say, before you respond or say anything, please try to gauge, is this thing going to cause a crisis, or is it going to actually propel me from one point to the other? Is it going to make me look like a leader in this space who really understands to give on how to give opinions in both ways? And when it comes to the don'ts on social media, I feel like the do's now. I think I've talked about the don'ts a lot. For the do's, I'll say for the do's, I've talked about them. For the don'ts, I'll just say one thing. If you want to grow on the social media platform for your personal reasons, for example, professional, career, and for your business, please don't just post and ghost. When I say post and ghost, I mean this. You come on social media, you just post, and then phew, you disappear. And then you wait people to do magic for you. If you're not there, honestly, people are not going to show up for you. The reason why some people who usually get a lot of comments is because they also show up for those people, because sometimes they engage them, they react to them, and sometimes when they send them the DMs, they respond. So take time to build an audience and a community of people who really support you, so that time you won't be available, some of them will be checking up on you. Yeah, or some of them, when you are not part of the conversation or part of the event, part of the opportunities in a room, they can easily talk about you. Why? Because you've really built a relationship, and you didn't just focus on, I'm just posting so that people can see that I'm just there. No. Can your content really make people feel connected to the issues you're talking about? Think about that. Is it good to do personal content on social media, and what are the limits? It's good to do, because at the end of the day, I feel like we also have our own personal things that we want to share on social media. For example, let's say, yeah, you know me as a digital marketer, you know me as a trainer, and from Monday to Friday, I constantly talk about, oh, do this, do that. Maybe I'm also collaborating with brands for conversations. I'm talking about how my day was, my work, and all that, where I went to speak. For example, this event today, I actually had to speak about it on social media. That means some people really expected me maybe to see me on the ground. But comes to, let's say, when I don't really want to share about my business or my work, what do I share? Yes, I share personal content, be it maybe I'm cooking in my kitchen, maybe that is what I call personal. Maybe when I'm going out for fun, maybe when I'm going out to travel, when I'm going to meet friends, when we are having maybe lunch with family, that is totally okay. Or maybe when I'm in shags, most of the time when you're in shag, we also want to share with people and tell them what we're doing. I know that is personal, but again, the thing is, share the content you're really comfortable with, content that will not harm you personally, content that will not bring any issues to your professional career when you're building your personal brand, content that is not going to harm other people, content that you are conscious about the actions you are going to do or you do in that particular content. And then maybe lastly, I'll say this: when you're building your professional, I think it also has to do with which industry are you in. There's some people who are into lifestyle. They want to talk about family. They want to talk about their kids and all that. And most of the time, they need to share a lot about their families. Maybe sometimes take us to their bedrooms, tell us on how they prepare A, B, C, D, and all that, which is fine. But again, I'll say this: at the end of the day, it depends on your career choice and the niche you are in. And something else I'll say is that as long as it's not bringing negative impact to you as you as a person, and as long as it's not really pegging a lot of things from you, as long as it's not making you stress yourself mentally, trying to make people feel happy, and yet you're really stressed and you're not okay, please don't do it. Just know your limits to a point that it's not really affecting your mental status, your mental health. Take note of that. If it's affecting your mental health, please, that is something that is going to harm you. And I think that is one of the major things we keep on talking about social media. Please take care of your mental health. I'll finally finish this with, I think, just piece of advice to young business women out there who are trying to build their businesses on the digital platform. I'll tell you this: social media is a great way for you to build your business and grow yourself. And one thing I usually say is that you have to constantly think about tracking the data, tracking the responses, and also building a good relationship with the first customers you get. It doesn't mean that once you sold, you are done with that customer. That customer is a great person to actually help you or recommend you to another person because of how you made them feel. Those are the people, when you have negative comments, they come and back up and say, you know what? I know you might be having a bad day, but from my experience, I really had a very good moment with you. I also loved your product. I loved your business. So that really helps you to build a community of people who really trust in you and who are ready to talk about you and who are ready to sell you without you even thinking about a marketing budget. The tricks for people to maybe grow on the digital platform, I will say this: collaborate. We can have competitors in this space. Yes, we are competing. For example, you're selling shoes and I'm selling shoes as a woman, but it doesn't mean that we can't sit down and have a conversation on how we can help people who are thinking about getting into the business of shoes. We have conversations on Facebook, we have conversations live on Instagram, we have live conversations on TikTok. Can we merge? Okay? And I think this is the best way we as women should be building each other. Let us collaborate, have conversations that help other people navigate through their businesses from the mistakes we have done, from the best moments we have had, so that at least they can also know how to have those best moments in their businesses, and also from a point of how can they also upscale, how can they manage their finances. Because one major problem I usually get from small businesses, they'll tell me that, last month we got a lot of sales, but then this month we are getting very few. How can you be able to manage expectations? How can you be able to manage our finances? Because not all the time social media is gonna be glamorous. Not all the time the content is gonna trend or it's gonna be viral on social media. There are times you'll have actually to deal with it. You're like, okay, I created this content, really thought it would be very amazing, but it didn't. That is where collaboration comes in. When you are two, when you are three, sometimes it really brings out not just the synergy itself, it brings out that idea of you're here to help others. And I think that is what all businesses should do. You're not just about selling, it's about helping people. So if you picture yourself helping another business owner who's starting a business, or who has been the business and then maybe it's never worked out, now they've closed down, trust me, people are gonna bank on you. I've seen this with how I have built my agency. Because at first I was like, pitching, writing proposals, going from client to client, nobody's responding. And then I noticed we are so many marketers in this space, but one thing we lack is we are not sharing much. We are not teaching others who are thinking of getting into our space. We are always constantly thinking about the next client. And then we narrowed it down to, I narrowed down with my team to, can I have a conversation every Wednesday where we talk about how to build ourselves in the digital platforms, how to grow. And actually that's when people notice you are not just a business person, you are a leader. And the moment you position yourself from that point of view, you are a leader, you're here to help, people will think about you first. Every time someone will say, oh, we need somebody to even have a conversation about small businesses, they'll be like, I think Nani is a very good person to go for. Why? One, she runs a business. Two, she has these conversations. Three, she constantly in circles and conversations with other small businesses. And she's helping them. That is the best trick you can ever go about. So you don't have to create your community. You can always find others. If you see Nana's community is really helping you or helping others, find a way to tap into that. Don't just go and start yours too. We might end up becoming 20 of them, but we are not doing anything. But when we come together, we think about the collaboration and not the competition. It really makes more sense. And that is why I usually say this. Women have the power to come together and do greater things. But again, unless they find a way not to work as competitors, but each other's supporter. Okay? And having said that, that is why I'm here. That is why I'm actually doing this conversation on this particular day of Happy Women's Day. I really love supporting women. I've pushed so many women from what I've been doing in the digital, because I want to see them also grow. I don't want to be the only person every client's trying to reach out to, and I can't work with all of them. I also want to see others and I'd be like, oh, by the way, I already have this client. We are in the same industry. I can't handle two competitors. Now I think my friend Selena or Jane can actually do that, and that really makes it very easy for us to grow each other on social media. Best tools to use on social media are the tools that can help you analyze data and track and see what are people really saying about your business. Okay, so I think after this, if Irina will be able to get access, maybe put you in a WhatsApp group or even an email, you'll be able to access. I will send her a link, like 2 links to 2 courses, so that you can be able to access them. These courses are free. Learn, and they can help you actually tap into the free tools that can help you monitor what people are saying about your business, be able to track what is actually happening to your business, be able to do a strategy, and be able to learn from your competitor on what best they are doing. Because at the end of the day, most of us have built our businesses on social media from a point of, we see what Nana is doing, we love what she's doing. If we see that people love that most, it means our people can also love that. So from me, I'll say this: let's keep building each other. As women, we have a lot of power to grow each other. And if you see another woman struggling and you're capable to help them, please go ahead and do. I hope I'll be able to get conversations and maybe texts from all of you or some of you, so that I can be able to see if I can help you in any way. Thank you so much for listening to me, and have a lovely day.